Welcome to Science for Real People. My name is Abby Omler, and today's topic of explanation is diabetes. This is a picture of me at 10 years old eating cake. When I, or somebody else that does not have diabetes, eats something high in carbohydrates and sugar, the digestion goes something like this. The cupcake goes down the esophagus and into the stomach, the red section, where it is broken down by the stomach acid. After the stomach, the cupcake travels into the small intestine, which is the skinnier of the two pink tubes. In the small intestine, the glucose formed by the carbohydrates is absorbed and sent into the bloodstream. Once the pancreas detects the glucose in the blood, it sends out insulin to break down the glucose. The insulin are the blue guys that are ready to search out the glucose and fight. The insulin travels through the bloodstream to find the glucose that needs broken down, aka the purple blobs. The insulin is strong and the glucose is worried. It's a quick victory for the insulin, as this is what it's been training to do. But what would happen if the insulin was at a deficit? Let's take a look. Here's the same situation, only this time it's my dad, a type 2 diabetic, eating the cake. Let's take a look at how his body is going to react to the glucose. The beginning of the digestion process is going to be similar, down the esophagus, into the stomach, and then into the small intestine, where the glucose is absorbed and sent into the blood. But the pancreas doesn't look quite as confident as it did last time. Let's take a closer look. Uh-oh, it looks like this time the pancreas didn't produce enough insulin. Let's see what happens when the insulin that it did produce takes on the glucose from the cupcake. Well, it looks like the one little insulin did its job, but there are still glucose running rampant in the bloodstream. This sends the person's blood sugar levels way up. High blood sugar levels can lead to symptoms like increased thirst, headaches, blurred vision, fatigue, and weight loss. Let's try this scenario one more time, but this time with a type 1 diabetic, so that we can clearly see the difference between type 1 and type 2. Looks pretty normal. You know the drill by now. Eat the cupcake down the esophagus, into the stomach, into the small intestine, glucose into the bloodstream. But what is the pancreas doing? Let's take a closer look. Here we see the key difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. While in type 2 diabetes, the pancreas is trying its best, but it simply isn't able to produce enough insulin to combat the glucose being thrown at it. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas doesn't produce any insulin at all. People with type 1 diabetes are usually born with it and know from a very young age that they have it, while type 2 diabetes can develop over time with more and more glucose intake, among other factors. Here you can see the glucose overtaking the bloodstream, causing an all-time high in blood sugar levels, which can cause a multitude of problems, including the ones listed earlier. Thank you for watching Science for Real People. I hope this helped to explain diabetes in a way that everyone can understand.